We are here day two in Orlando, Florida. We're at Vectors 2019. Joining me this afternoon is Micah Singer from Teammate Technology. Micah, great to see you.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate the time.
So, we're getting to the second half of day two here. What have you seen? What are your impressions from the first day and a half?
I feel like it's a really energized group of resellers and MSPs here. SkySwitch has done a great job of, I'd say, staying really current with the market. So they've a lot of the things they're talking about seem like right in the strike zone of what this group wants and can sell. So very compelling event.
You've been in this industry for a little while, but you've got a new startup now. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so I've been in the more or less PBX space for about a dozen years. My background is I was the founder and CEO of VoIPLogic, which sold to BroadSoft a few years ago, and really, as I looked around, the team collaboration space or software and the developments in that category have just been really compelling. It feels like a whole new opportunity. It's this promise that we've heard about for so many years about different kinds of business and enterprise software coming together in one place, including communications. Companies like Slack and I'd say Microsoft and Cisco and Google have really done a great job of leading the way with these platforms. And I feel that the PBX still has an extremely important role to play. So Teammate Technology is built, what we've founded to do is integrate the PBX with team collaboration software. So what we're doing is we've built a piece of cloud software that we're running in Azure, and it speaks SIP and it speaks APIs, and it basically turns these team collaboration platforms into soft phones for any PBX.
So there are certainly those who are going to argue that, now you don't need your additional PBX vendor anymore. You can do it all using Microsoft or some of the other providers out there. You don't buy into that?
Yeah, it's a fair argument, and I recently posted on LinkedIn, and there's two sides, and they're strongly passionate. So there's definitely a group that feels that that is potentially true. And there's a real strong push for the PBX still. I think it depends on how you use the PBX. So for light PBX users, I think things like the features of Microsoft Teams are actually maybe replacement. But I think a lot of people still use the PBX for what it was meant to do: complex call control, voice communication among large teams, extension dialing. They've integrated, there's a lot of historical systems integrated in, like for compliance, HIPAA or FINRA, and reporting. So I think we're in a transition phase for sure, but I think the PBX is, it'll be a generational change. It'll take many years before it sort of goes into the sunset. Yeah.
Well, and I was talking with Jeff Pulver yesterday right here, and he made the point, and I have to agree with him, that voice just is not going away, and the things that business users do with voice isn't going to change all that quickly, so the PBX is still going to be needed.
Yeah, I mean, one point I hear all the time, and people talk about the PBX going away, but I mean, let's face it, the PBX, if you tried to sell a PBX from 20 years ago today, you wouldn't get any business. So the PBX has really evolved already, and what it does looks really different. It's a lot, it's starting to be a lot more integrated with desktop computing and mobile and other places. But I mean, voice isn't going away, as you said, and the PBX will evolve, and I think it'll present really nicely in some of these other collaboration tools where there can be continued meaningful use.
So what does it take to make that connection between Teams and the PBXs that these resellers here this week are bringing to market?
SIP. SIP is really important. So it takes the ability to translate lots of different, essentially information coming from APIs from Teams or Slack or other systems into SIP instructions for the PBX. So PBXs speak SIP, and you have to speak SIP if you want to work with them. So for us, that's meant building, of course, a web app that is intermingled with a SIP proxy, a form of SIP proxy that we've built from the ground up to support this integration.
And So how does that all work? What's your relationship with SkySwitch as a result of that?
I, I've known SkySwitch for a while, originally as competitors mainly, and I have a lot of respect for what they've done in bringing things to market in a timely fashion. A lot of what you see here today, a lot of why people come to this event is to learn, and they were one of the first to really believe what I'm selling has a use to their reseller and MSP base. So. They're an early adopter. We're getting close to a launch with them, something that will be made available to this crowd as one of the first offerings that we've done as a new company.
Excellent. Well, we certainly look forward to seeing that. Thanks for being with us here, and enjoy the rest of Vectors 2019.
Thank you very much.